Stopwatch. Should I even bother with it?
I'm frozen.
You do the intro. I'll find the timer.
I'm frozen.
No.
Hi,
Multi
this is Sparked
stopwatch.
live. We are Sparked
Reset
Innovations. That's Ed, and
Start.
I'm Rich. And this is our live show, Live in Sparky.
Yeah, live in Sparky.
I'm going to share this to my friends.
You know what? I forgot to redo the timer because I think we don't need to do a long drawn out intro and outro each time, especially if we don't have anything to announce. But the important things are,
We got beer.
yeah, there's a goose on there.
Duck, duck, goose.
The important thing is we're celebrating our Canadian geese brethren. Also that we are on YouTube and Facebook, so if you have a preference, go ahead. Our official pages are Sparked Innovations on all the platforms.
Yeah, all the platforms. Just search us. We come up and search.
And that's our website, sparkedinnovations.com. So if you're interested in any products of ours, hey, go to the site. Check it out. Check out our Facebook, too, on our posts.
I got to fix my hairpiece for Paul. Make sure it's all nice.
So everyone is welcome to come into the chat and share some thoughts and feelings. And we're going to talk about a specific topic, phrase, word of the day type thing and discuss that. And then we'll have a little interaction about that. We announce things that we got working in the works for the company, the business. The biggest thing now is the TDH show at the end of this month.
Oh, yeah.
The Team Deadly Hurts, Jeff Lockhart memorial show.
I hope I'll be able to walk by then.
You'll be able to walk?
Yeah. I have a thing on the 17th.
Oh, yeah. I got to get my zip ties and cutters to help Rich out with.
I'm having a vasectomy. Ding.
Yeah, that's what zip ties are for.
And that's what Ed's going to do. He's going to strap me to the table. He's been waiting to do it my whole life.
That's why we got the workbench here.
Yep, we got lights, so it's kind of like an operating room.
Live stream it.
Oh yeah, that's a good idea.
That would be horrible.
Live and not so Sparky.
I would definitely not want to watch that.
Titty show.
Yeah, do that. That would be even. That would be entertaining. That's what we were talking about on there.
It is true. That is what we have been talking about.
How many viewers would one of your titties get?
Colby Dolby.
But anyway, okay, let's move on. So this is going to ring a ding ding, but we're not going to fully pay attention to that.
Yeah. This is the Bang Brothers.
Yeah.
No, it's not.
Tang Bang was the actual name of a brand. So
what's TSNS?
Top secret ninja stuff.
Yeah.
But not stuff. Anyway, so the kind of topic of the day is I wanted to talk about loud versus quality.
Loud versus quiet and qualities.
You only had a sip of beer. Loud versus quality as far as like loudspeakers, sound quality.
I'm on the quality side.
So we do want to get some feedback, like what you prefer, like what style speaker.
But not feedback through the microphone and speakers, not that kind of feedback loop. We want you to tell us about speakers and your preferences and how
if you're
you guys
buying
run
6.5s, what kind of 6.5s?
Are they two-way? Or do you use components? Are they loudspeakers?
You go with 4 6x9s.
That'd shit be loud, man. Could be loudspeakers, could be car audio speakers, like the sound quality ones. Or do you just want to like blast as loud as possible and project, and then what trends do you see at shows? Where do you see things going?
Oh, here's a good question.
No, it's not.
If you see, say at a medium distance, a build, a demo car, whatever, someone competing, sitting there in a parking lot at a show, what about their vehicle, what type of build, what type of install, or what type of sound do you hear gets you to go in close to check it out in a happy manner, not, oh, let me look at this crappy thing, or, excited to go over and look closer. What gets you excited about that? Loud isn't quality. I would say they're two different descriptions on something. You can have both.
Yes. It's not, they're not mutually exclusive. It just, you have to do it right in order to have good quality. There have been systems in the past, they're few and far between, where they're both.
Yeah.
Where it's like not hurting your ears. It's not blaring, but it is damn loud and impressive. To really get that across without the signal breaking up or the speakers, losing their suspension or distortion coming through or things being overdriven. It's hard, and I don't see a lot of people mastering it the right way. It's more the guys, and again, this might just be where you come from, the places you live. There's different styles. People like the blaring loud. It doesn't matter if it's distorted. It doesn't matter if it's broken up. They just want it as loud as possible. And I don't know if it's people that can't hear the distortion, like they can't hear their speakers bottoming out. Like I don't know if it's just a choice or if it's ignorance when it comes to distortion.
There is a neurological component to hearing. Like a trained ear is a legit statement. If
trains don't have ears,
they have horns. And do you prefer horns? There's another question. So if your brain is not paying attention to a certain sound, that sound can be repeated over and over and you'll never notice it, right? So the selective hearing type of thing.
Oh, yeah.
If you're trained to hear nuance and detail, you'll look for it more. And some people are predisposed to that and better. It can be a skill. But also talking about distortion, there's multiple distortions. There's the distortion in the signal going from your source to your amplifiers. There's distortion in your power output from the amplifiers. Then there's acoustic distortion of the speaker itself. And then there's actually distortion of your ear. So your ear can be overdriven. And that's when the hairs get broken and all that sort of thing. So going to the question of what you prefer and what grabs your attention at a show, I will say the big, huge fold-out loudspeaker DJ pro audio style builds catch my eye, and I want to go in close to see how the engineering, the build, the quality of how they do all that will draw me in. But if they are in the act of demoing and playing, I will not go near it because it does physically hurt. So it's impressive in one aspect, and the other aspect, I'll walk around towards the back of the speakers so I don't hear them as much. You know what I mean? If they turn it down and I could get a good sense of how good it sounds at a moderate distance, then that would be more enjoyable. But I do understand shows are crowded, huge parking lots, a lot of stuff going on, so they turn it up a little bit. And hey, it's understandable.
It is impressive. I mean, especially when you got that like snare drum frequency that like you feel it on your forehead. Like it's so loud and there's so much of a wave coming at you that you actually feel.
The hi-hats always get me.
Oh yeah.
Right in the ear.
It's the harshness. Oh, like just a little bit of EQing can help that. And I don't know if people don't care about it. If
some do. And there are some builds out there operated better than others. Who was it? I know Jose from Bema used to have, their Explorer down at Spring Break Nationals a few years ago. He was playing Hotel California right in front of the convention hall. And you can walk down the strip to your hotel and still hear it, but up close it wasn't doing that harshness. He also had a professional, what's it called, the rack EQ system you would see like in a studio type thing they had as their console that you could adjust things with. I believe that was him. It could have been someone else, and I'm sure other people have done similar things. So maybe that's his trained ear being able to turn the dials.
Well, and there is something to be said about once you realize the difference, you can't believe that you did it the old way. I remember when we got the MB Quartz, when they were still really good, the crossover, the passive crossover was crossed over at like 4,000, and the tweeter was raspy and harsh, and I just couldn't stand myself. Then they had jumpers, minus dB, to pull it down even further, and it still wasn't working. So I had my EPX2. I installed the E28D card, and I just moved the crossover point up. This way is up, right? I moved it up.
That way is up.
Just a little bit, and it went away like that quick. Just moving the crossover point up a little bit, and I'm thinking to myself, how many people out there think MB Quartz suck because they're not EQ'd properly? And I didn't know that at the time. So once I solved the problem, I heard it everywhere. Oh, that's raspy. I can help. I could probably help fix that. Same thing with subs. You know, like in your home audio system. I had one that was very boomy, and I thought that was what bass should sound like. Once I got a whole lot of cone area and enough power, I started to feel that punch in the chest and the floor vibrate, and the booming went away, and I heard more of the sound. We talked about this before. Heard more of the actual sound and less of the booming vibration that filled the house. And again, until I heard the right sound, I didn't know I was listening to it the way I was that entire time. So you can learn these things. I think there's a lot of comments in here. Let's go back.
Let's go up.
Ignore Paul.
We got Jonathan DeMuth. We got Bobby.
Wait, hey, you got
Bobby in the house. Randy Kessel in the house. Colby Dolby, obviously.
Hey, homies. Wait, what did he say? I didn't see the homies part. Oh, okay. Hey, guys, how do you do, homies? We're very well, thank you, Randy.
So that guy,
Ellen. Oh, that was the Kelly Clarkson show. But yeah, that was me and my son. No harsh, high-end loudspeakers and clear sound, not too loud to the point of pain.
All right.
High-end loudspeakers.
Loud and clear. Yeah, like I said, Jose from Bama, like that Explorer was very loud, but he kept it clear. I think also overhead on power is an important thing. So if you're pushing past the point of distortion on your amplifiers just to get louder, that's a limit. That what adds a lot of harshness. So.
I prefer to have more headroom.
Yeah.
So SQL. Yeah. I like the term.
Toby from Norway.
Norway. Hey, what's going on? What's it, Rich?
Train ears.
No, I'm
radar ears.
Talking about my my toupee or my hairpiece. Some people can't hear the freaking distortion. Yeah, I know. Yes, I know. There were some Ayaska CDs, and they would walk you through like tuning and stuff, and they would play tracks with increasing distortion. And I remember I had a friend with me, and I was listening for it, and I heard it, but he couldn't. And there were 4 different tracks, and I'm like, that's clearly distorted. You can't hear that? No, it sounds the same as the other tracks. It's like, so again, it's a fine detail.
The Auto Sound 2000 test CD was always a good one.
That might be what I'm thinking of.
Ashley Reed says, I love how Mecca does clinics. I do too. I haven't been to one, but I've always been interested in how they actually run them. So Mecca will do a clinic on various things about your system, tuning, how they judge certain things and whatnot. Mecca doesn't really operate up by us, so unfortunately that's not too prevalent. But Ayaska used to do something similar, and I wanted to do that for when I started Showtime SPL before it was my old YouTube channel. It was the name of a format I was trying to make, and I was going to implement kind of clinics, SPL clinics with that, but never happened. I do love that. That's a good thing to do. There should be more training like there used to be back in the day. And hey, maybe we do that. Maybe that's us.
Well, yeah, we're starting to realize that the guys that we would look up to and listen to when we were younger, we're that age now. So it's like,
like someone should do that.
We gotta step up maybe. Now. And we don't realize how loud it is because it's distortion free. Yes. Remember we were in the mall parking lot. We were listening to my system, and this lady walked by, and she was saying something about, you're gonna like hurt your hearing or something like that. And we were trying to explain to her how distortion-free music, loud music, can still be enjoyable because it's not hurting physically your ear and causing that discomfort and that pain. And I remember that about my Beretta. That was the best sounding system I've heard. I would say like maybe number 3 on the list of all systems I've ever heard. And I didn't realize it back then, but there were CDs, there's tracks that I would use as those benchmarks. How they're supposed to sound. And I would use them on systems. After that, I was never able to hear those specific little things.
Dave Brooks, his truck, it was like that.
You could hear like, there's that voice in the back, like you have a whole choir and there's this one guy, his voice is just a little bit different, and I know what that sounds like, and I can't hear it on my audio system at home. I can't hear it like anywhere else. Can't hear it on my speakers here at work. It was only on my audio system in my car.
Hey, Toby.
I always go for the systems that give me goosebumps. Yeah, you know, you just know. You just know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For me, the first real experience of that was what I call what I've done since then is the Explorer test. And my brother Billy will know what this is. We were at a show. It might have been that show in Deptford, New Jersey. So you may have been there. It was a Ford Explorer. This is a show in probably 1997 or 98. So anyone over 150 dB was very rare. So this was the first legit competitor I've seen consistently over 150 dB. And it would only was around like 151, 152. But he had 4 15-inch Lansars in a B-pillar wall in a diamond. So Lansars of the late 90s, they were pretty cool. And it was so deadened, the skin, the door seals, everything. And now, we go to shows and the cars are so powerful that you can't help that the glass itself is flapping and everything. This was powerful enough that you could feel it, but not so powerful that the doors was breaking off its hinges. So he was metering. While he was metering, he opened the door, and standing anywhere in front of that vehicle in a maybe 20, 30 foot radius, you get enveloped by this very distortion-free, I don't know what, maybe a 45 hertz wave just enveloped you, and it just felt so good. There was no rattling. Everything was deadened, nice. Just everything in the vehicle was like perfect. And the sound just get to this day, like I feel like those goosebump feelings. And I love that. And I sought that out so much since then that if I hear that at a show, I'll go right towards it.
Rain
EQ. It's spelled RANE though, if that's what it means. Or it's raining.
Thanks
outside.
for sharing, Paul. ESP,
ESP the way.
Yeah, the EPX2 still to this day is fantastic.
We should make a new version.
It's relatively bare bones for what it does. Global presets, crossover points, EQs. I don't even think they did time alignment in that. But if you spent the time,
it did have the ability that it was an extra card to get the time alignment.
Okay, if you spent the time and you knew what you were doing, you can get that system to sound pretty damn good. Oh man, I wish I could hear that again, because I have all these like wonderful old CDs that I listen to now, and they're just not the same. And it's like lost information. It's crazy. And that's the cool thing, talking about the goosebumps. When you listen to music, you've been listening to your entire life, old favorites and everything, and you think that you've heard everything, and then you listen to it on a quality audio system that brings all that information to the front. It's like discovering the song again. It's really, really cool.
Now, I don't want to make anyone feel bad if you do prefer just loud and you don't, if you're doing a build and you're not putting as much effort into the clarity of it as the loudness, then that's fine too. We want to know that. Think of it as market research, trying to figure out what the trend is and what are the priorities in your builds. Are you an installer? And is the priority in your own build different than your customer's builds? Let us know that too.
Yeah.
Bobby says, I used to put cement in the doors. I filled my Duster's door. I had 2 layers of MDF as my door panel, and then I filled the cavity with sand. I eventually took it out because it was really heavy and weird. But yeah, there's a certain mixture and stuff that you can do with the floor and ceiling and all that.
We'll set it up a little bit.
So, Toby's.
Oh my God, Toby. So I go to Pottstown around here. It's not too far, specifically to have my car EQ'd with an RTA, right? And I remember him sitting in the car after it was all done, blaring it to the point where I couldn't stand it. It was like hurting. And he was sitting there just like, and I'm like, you think this sounds good? It's broken up and distorted. My speakers are like practically dying. and he thought it sounded great. I was in disbelief. And now, RTA is a flat curve, and it's not supposed to really sound good to your ear, to our ears, because they're sensitive to different frequencies. But still, like, he was a professional installer, and he was a judge at the time, and I just. I don't know.
There it is. Audio is all about preference.
Preferences. Yeah, it's true. I mean, there is a little bit of objectivity in terms of what, like, measuring it on an RTA. You know what I mean? Like, okay, we can all say that those numbers are at 0. But in terms of what sounds good to you versus me, that could very well be very different.
Quest never ends. My stuff makes me happy. That's what it's all about. And look, if that guy was tuning his own vehicle and it sounded like that, if it made him happy, even if you didn't like it, then more power to him.
Yeah.
Doing it as a business for other people, you want to make the customer happy, obviously. So,
right. Man,
being subjective, that's hard to do. So I like to preach more power to the people. Educate yourself and learn to tune better yourself, because you're going to be the best judge of what you like.
All right.
If you have a hard time doing that, then finding a tuner or an installer that you mesh well with is hard.
And going back, finding behinding.
Yeah, exactly. But we all have our tastes. Taste visually, for me, audio has always been just as important visually as it's been audibly, at least in the competition world, in the demo world. I didn't always.
It's starting to come back a little. The visual thing took a break for a bit. In SPL competition it did.
Yeah. And there were some really good looking installs out there. There are few and far between. I could name a few. One was Michael Hughes. His build is always awesome. Rump Shaker, what's his name? Aaron Cole. His builds, he had an extreme vehicle, but it was all either aluminum or stainless. So instead of just the painted fiberglass and wood and steel in his cabin, it was all like the swirl, how the
grinder
in metal, that he did, and he purposely used certain nice shiny big head bolts on his windshield.
You have a big head.
Yeah, it was beautiful. I like quality, but not too overkill, since I never had the motivation and money to invest to make it perfect. I did get close when I got my Macintosh 4-channel. Now, Macintosh is a good company, and they're still around. Apparently, I haven't seen much of them, but I think Worldwide is a dealer down the street here.
Well, I know that they still do home audio.
Yeah.
But I haven't seen car audio in a long time.
I think they still have them around. So you got new companies that are coming up that are rivaling something like Macintosh, and that's DMR, who's connected to SMD. And even Macintosh was famous for the VU meters, analog style. Their color is green. DMR is doing the digital VU meters, just like he did on Rockford a few years back. So, so that level of quality and that range of amplifier is around. It's just in a different brand right now. Mac's not big on marketing and rely on reputation. Yeah,
I can see that. Yeah.
And I think it serves them well. They're where they're at in the market, and if they're doing well, then great. There's a lot of things I don't hear about, but I'm not plugged into every group and publication out there. So, all right. So we got 6 minutes left.
12, 7, 6 minutes.
Yes, exactly. Do we have any promo sales?
No.
I did send out that last golden ticket. Well, I put it in the bin.
Hey, okay, finally. It's about time. Only 2 have been claimed, though.
Yeah, only 2 have been claimed.
Bosnia and Herzegovina.
We are over 25 viewers.
All right.
Do we want to go back and pick someone to send the thing?
What?
Another?
Hey, that's actually not a bad idea.
So what we can do is we are going to give out another T-shirt and sticker pack, just like the one Rich is wearing here, although we have them in black also. And we're going to find someone in the comment section and just give it away. But should we do it here live, or should we go back?
Do it live!
Go back after this video is out for a day and then...
I think Friday. How about Friday?
Okay, Friday. So
Friday.
So and the rules here are comment on this video. So out of the commenters, we will, and it doesn't have to be live right now. It could be tomorrow. So Friday we have a show at 6, and we'll go on Friday. Before we go live, we will pick randomly out of the people commenting a winner, and on Friday we'll announce who gets our promo pack, which is a T-shirt,
Well, wait,
2 or 3 stickers, and a keychain.
What if we have them come back to the live show on Friday, and only if they're watching do they get it? So it's an incentive to come back.
Well, yeah. If we announce your name and you're not there, then
then you lose.
It's kind of like the in-person thing of a raffle. You got to be there to claim the ticket.
That's
right?
what we're going to do.
Yeah.
So make sure you come back, and we will have already picked you, and probably 2 or 3 other guys just in case you're not there. Wait, there was something about volume and gain.
Jeremy's here.
I love that concept. It's amazing. There's so many people that still don't get the difference.
Tim Rader can. I haven't seen him in a while.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Distortion.
From Bosnia. Wow.
Distortion loves that thinking. I'll tell you, man, it's a delicate balance. Like Ed said, there's several stages that you can in which you can have distortion. One of them is in your ear, obviously, but the rest of it is all controllable. And if you don't have your amplifier set right, your signals from your DSP or your head unit set right, you don't have the right compatibility of power to speaker, everything lined up.
You're one of my most favorite superheroes.
Huh? Who's that?
Berryman.
I don't know who that is.
It's a joke on his name.
Oh, I don't know. I thought it was like a DC character. I don't know.
It is now.
Okay.
Car Audio Adoption. That's a cool name.
Are you from WKRP in Cincinnati, David?
Carrie, seen you at Slam. It was good meeting you. Hey,
thanks, Carrie. We're going to be there again this year if we can get transportation.
Yeah. If you're close to Indiana and you make it to Slam all the time, we should be there. Hopefully it's not raining or super hot this year.
Regular guy is not here.
Figment of the imagination.
Figment of our imagination.
Randy's picking
watching
something.
This and having fun.
Yeah,
boogers?
I think he means his kids. The little buggers.
Well, you could be picking your boogers.
Still kicking. Tim is still kicking.
Good.
More SB and less Nestman. There you go. More DB.
Hi, Ryan.
So that was a brief discussion on quality versus which you can have both, and that's where explaining mostly is how you can have both by tuning.
Yeah.
Right. If sometimes budget does limit you to one or the other, or one more than the other, I guess I could say. So you could get louder, but you sacrifice some of the quality unless you could afford better quality amplifiers or the speakers themselves that are able to play louder without distortion. Or you could have really good quality, but if your budget limits you in power, it's not going to be as loud, right?
Yeah.
And I would say that our systems back in the day were very low power compared to now. So your MB Court setup that sounded really good. That was did you have a 200.2?
Mm-hmm.
And then you had,
I had a
for the subs
400.4 at a time.
Right. So very low power.
Yep.
Compared to what we're capable of nowadays. And now we have full range 1,000 watt by 4.
Well, yeah, but there's that. Remember that amp that was 1 watt and it was like winning all those.
The Beast or the Orion. Well, that's different nowadays.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah. So, what do you guys have in your systems now, or will you be putting in your systems in the next build? What direction are you going? Are you going loudspeaker? Are you going conventional car audio component? Let us know. We want to see, where the trend's going. I hate distortion. I love clean sound. Yep. I'm right there with you, Randy. And you know what? I think I understood the loud sound and the boom stuff when I was in like high school. It was really appealing back then.
Let me hear you say wayo.
But I think as we get older, our tastes change a little. I mean, I still listen to death metal and black metal, and so I haven't changed, that in terms of like the type of aggression and the sound that I like.
And I take offense to everyone that says you don't drive around listening to test tones, because I do.
I do too.
I'm probably one of the few people that have, and say you don't drive around with your head against the dash or in the kick panel. We've done that. Remember, we would do the test like you drive around. We did that. I used to put my tweeters on top of the roof and play sign sweeps.
Did you do it near a baseball field?
Yeah, and all the baseball players looked towards my car. I had these horn tweeters from Radio Shack, and I stuck them out and played high-pitched, high-frequency sweeps. And they were all like, "What the hell?"
Heavier than that, Colby. More like Demu Borgir and cattle decapitation and even some Slipknot, believe it or not.
So before we sign off, Toby did ask, have you guys seen the controversy surrounding line output converters? I would say it's not a controversy.
It's not a controversy.
It was it's a person that takes exception at
everything.
Yeah. Advancement in technology where it's all I would say, I'm gonna make one statement without being too direct. If you want to evaluate a product, something that you find that or you feel might be dubious,
especially if it's a physical product that is attainable and can be tested electronically.
Yes, that before putting content out,
opening your mouth
about that product, the wisest thing to do, and the thing an engineer would do to evaluate a product, is to attain that product, run a battery of tests, let the data from your tests, even if it's physical inspection of the internals, let that data sway your forming opinion, and then publish your findings based on that. Don't just see a picture or a little short video.
Make an assumption and react. Make
assumptions and post your assumptions.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. That case is closed. Sparky, yeah. Aha. Test before spew. There you go. Okay.
Well, yeah. That's a better way to say it.
You like Screamo? No, not Screamo.
No, I don't like Screamo.
Heavy stuff. What would be a more well-known, like mass distributed heavy like Icelandic metal? There's that one how about Rammstein? Like, people understand like that kind of level of heaviness.
No, it's different style.
That's style,
but more industrial.
Yeah. The Icelandic stuff isn't as accepted in the US or distributed in the
I
US
would say distributed. Yeah, Demi Borgir, surprisingly, they're more commercial. As a matter of fact, they get slammed a lot by like extreme metal bands like Behemoth. They slam them all the time for selling out, not being extreme enough. And there are a lot of talented musicians out there. Goat Whore is one.
Is that James's brother?
Yeah. Assumption makes
Robert
an ass
Earl
out of you.
Jones Jr.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah. Hey, folks. Hey, Robert Earl Jones Jr. He played Darth Raider, probably. Sonata, or is that
Arctica? I don't know who that is. Never heard of them.
Yeah, you could look it up after this.
Yeah.
All right, so we are going to sign off. We appreciate you hanging out.
Thank you.
28
viewers.
Yeah, as stated before, we are going to give away a T-shirt like what Rich is wearing, except we also have them in black, plus some stickers, and we're going to choose out of anyone commenting on this video, whether it be Facebook or YouTube. We'll go through the comments, and so if you are viewing on Friday when we announce your name, we will make arrangements to send you the shirt of your choice.
Who's saying that? Hey, Carrie. So I got a real quick little story for you. So I had one of the guys that invented the standard for THX came to my house to do a professional calibration on my new LG OLED TV. Trash bags on the windows. Everything was pitch black. You know, we went through all the steps. He had the spectrometer and all this other stuff, right? And as we're doing these tests, he's telling me that he will have guys that pay him to come out and do their tests and stuff and dial in their TVs that cost tens of thousands of dollars. He'll get it to a reference point, okay? Something that the studio has established as reference. And they will go ahead and reverse his settings because they like their settings better because it's brighter or there's more blue or whatever. And it blows his mind because they spend all this money, but they want to just have a picture that does not look right. but to them it does. It's pleasing to them. So, you know, when you have a customer that wants something, you want them to be happy. And I've met installers, I've met tuners, guys over the years that will stand by, you know, their opinions and say, I will not do that. If you want that, go to somewhere else, because that's stupid. You know what I mean? So, you know, there's different kinds, and some people will do exactly what the customer wants, even if it sounds like crap to them. You know, so yeah, it really does span the gamut there.
All right, yeah. So 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Friday, we will be here and we'll talk about this. We can keep on talking about it. It'll be more Q&A and whatnot. Thanks for the hang. Have a nice evening. You too, Toby. Thank you,
Toby.
Mark, what's going on? Regular Guy Audio. Have a good weekend.
Yes, Mark, we got to get you your shirt. Don't forget. We haven't forgotten about you.
Check out some.
Not you don't forget. We don't forget. We haven't forgotten. Love is
going on. Shogun.
Yeah.
Shogun, what's going on? All right, Carrie Neely. Thank you all so much. Again, Sparked Innovations on Facebook and YouTube. SparkedInnovations.com is our site. Please subscribe, thumbs up, share, whatever you got to do. We'll see you on Friday.
Yes, you will. Thank you, guys. I love you.